Bakhmut became the Russo-Ukrainian War's Verdun, a 9-month urban meat grinder from August 2022 to May 2023 that devoured Russia's elite Wagner Private Military Company, cost Moscow over 20,000 lives, and shattered the myth of mercenary invincibility in the bloodiest siege since Stalingrad. The battle began as a Russian flanking maneuver around the Donetsk salient, but metastasized into an obsession for Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin, who vowed to capture the city street by street, house by house, regardless of cost. Ukrainian defenders, regular army, territorial defense, and foreign volunteers turned every apartment block, factory, and drainage pipe into a fortress, bleeding Wagner dry and setting the stage for Prigozhin's spectacular June 2023 mutiny. The siege ignited on August 1, 2022, when Wagner assault detachments crossed the Siversky Donetsk River under cover of two S-19 Mr. S howitzer barrages. Their objective was simple: seize Bakhmut to sever Ukrainian supply lines to Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. Prigozhin deployed 15,000 fighters, convicts promised pardons, ex-Spetsnaz veterans and Syrian auxiliaries, against 8,000 Ukrainian troops dug into Soviet-era concrete bunkers. The first assaults targeted the city's eastern industrial zone, where the Azom metalworks became a killing ground. Wagner squads advanced in human wave formation, 50 meters apart, using Storm Z tactics. Convicts in the front to trigger mines, professionals behind to exploit gaps. Ukrainian snipers with Barrett M82 rifles dropped 47 attackers in the first 24 hours from the plant's 60-meter smokestack. By September, the battle settled into a pattern of excruciating attrition. Wagner gained 100 and 200 meters daily at the cost of 120 lives. Prigozhin fed the furnace with prison recruits, offering $2,000 signing bonuses and freedom after 6 months. Ukrainian artillery, 155mm M777 howitzers guided by commercial drones, fired 6,000 rounds weekly, turning streets into rubble moons. The city's pre-war population of 71,000 shrank to under 3,000 civilians hiding in basements. Humanitarian corridors evacuated 1,200 children under Red Cross flags while shells screamed overhead. Water pumps failed in October. Residents melted snow for drinking, sharing buckets passed hand to hand through sewer tunnels. Wagner's breakthrough came on November 11th with the capture of the Nauf gypsum plant south of the city. Prigozhin celebrated on Telegram, posing atop a conveyor belt littered with Ukrainian helmets. The victory cost 1,200 Wagner lives in 72 hours, including an entire company of ex-convicts who mutinied mid-assault and were machine-gunned by their own barrier troops. Ukrainian commander Oleksandr Syrsky responded by flooding the Bakhmutka River, creating a moat that forced Russian armor into predictable kill zones. T-90 tanks bogged down in mud. Javelin teams claimed 14 in a single afternoon from the attic of a 9-story apartment block. Winter hardened the stalemate into frozen hell. Temperatures plunged to -20°C. Frostbite claimed more limbs than bullets. Wagner fighters issued summer uniforms, wrapped feet in plastic bags. Ukrainian defenders burned furniture for warmth, cooking rats over sterno cans. The city's central market became a charnel house, bodies stacked like cordwood, too frozen to bury. Medics on both sides performed amputations without anesthesia. Morphine ran out in December. A captured Wagner medic later testified that Prigozhin ordered wounded left in the snow to save resources for the assault. The turning point arrived in February 2023 when Ukraine's 93rd Mechanized Brigade counterattacked along the M03 highway, recapturing 11 square kilometers and encircling Wagner's 72nd Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade. Prigozhin raged on social media, accusing Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu of withholding artillery shells. Leaked audio revealed Wagner ammunition depots at 12% capacity, while Russian regular units received priority. The feud exploded publicly on February 21st, when Prigozhin posted a video standing amid 40 frozen corpses screaming, "These are my boys, and Shoigu sends them to die with sticks." Urban combat reached apocalyptic intensity in March. Wagner infiltrated sewer systems, emerging inside Ukrainian strongpoints to plant satchel charges. Ukrainian sappers countered by collapsing tunnels with shaped explosives. The city's last intact bridge over the Bakhmutka fell on March 8th after a 14-hour firefight. Engineers from both sides died wiring demolitions under machine gun fire. Apartment by apartment fighting became hand-to-hand. Bayonets, entrenching tools, even teeth. A Ukrainian sergeant earned the Hero of Ukraine medal for holding a stairwell with a PKM machine gun for 6 hours, killing 38 attackers before succumbing to a grenade. Wagner's final push began April 15th with Operation Meat Storm, 3 simultaneous thrusts from east, south, and north. Prigozhin committed his last 5,000 reserves, including the elite Mozart unit of former French Foreign Legionnaires. Ukrainian artillery, now equipped with Excalibur GPS-guided shells, achieved 90% first-round hits. The southern prong collapsed within 48 hours. 100 Wagner fighters died in a single minefield dubbed the Corridor of Death. By May 1st, Russian regular army units, reluctant reinforcements from the 2nd Guards Motor Rifle Division, refused to advance, citing impossible conditions. The city fell on May 20, 2023, when Ukrainian forces withdrew across the last intact pedestrian bridge under covering fire from Bradley fighting vehicles. Wagner raised its black flag over the shattered city administration building, but victory rang hollow. Prigozhin claimed 99% of Bakhmut, yet Ukrainian artillery continued shelling from Chasiv Yar, 10 kilometers west. The cost, 20,094 Wagner dead, official Russian figures later admitted, 41,000 wounded, and 127 prisoners exchanged. Ukraine suffered 7,200 killed and 15,000 wounded. Devastating but sustainable. The ratio, nearly 3.1 in Ukraine's favor, exposed Wagner's tactical bankruptcy. The siege's physical destruction defied comprehension. Satellite imagery showed 60% of buildings reduced to rubble. The city's footprint resembled Hiroshima, 1945. Unexploded ordnance, PFM-1 butterfly mines, cluster munitions, thermite grenades littered every street. Demining teams estimated 10 years to clear the 41 square kilometers. The Bakhmutka River ran orange with chemical runoff from the destroyed phenol plant. Fish floated belly up for kilometers downstream. Survivors spoke of a silence after the guns stopped, broken only by the creak of collapsing concrete. Prigozhin's rebellion erupted 1 month later. On June 23rd, Wagner columns seized Rostov-on-Don's southern military district headquarters, demanding Shoigu's resignation. The mutiny collapsed after 36 hours when Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko brokered a deal. Prigozhin exiled to Minsk, Wagner absorbed into the Russian Ministry of Defense. The siege had broken more than a city, it shattered the mercenary empire. Recruits refused new contracts, prison pipelines dried up. Wagner's African operations collapsed without Bakhmut's propaganda victories to sustain funding. Ukrainian resilience in Bakhmut bought strategic time. The 9-month delay prevented Russian advances towards Sloviansk, allowing Kyiv to train 12 new brigades on Western equipment. Captured Wagner radios revealed ammunition shortages that persisted into 2024. The battle's veterans, scarred, frostbitten, but alive, formed the backbone of Ukraine's 2023 counteroffensive, their intimate knowledge of Russian tactics proving decisive in Zaporizhzhia. The human stories from Bakhmut haunt survivors. A 19-year-old Wagner convict from Siberia, pardoned after losing both legs, told BBC interviewers he was handed a rifle and told, "Run forward until you stop a bullet." A Ukrainian nurse, trapped in a basement hospital for 11 weeks, delivered 14 babies by flashlight. The city's last civilian, 71-year-old Tamara Ivanivna, refused evacuation, tending a vegetable patch amid shelling until a Grad rocket took her roof. Her diary, recovered in August, read, "If I leave, who will feed the cats?" Bakhmut's legacy reshaped modern warfare doctrine. Military academies worldwide study the siege as the ultimate case of urban attrition. NATO updated its FM 3.6 manual to emphasize drone-delivered supplies. Ukrainian quadcopters dropped 40,000 liters of water weekly. Russia abandoned human wave tactics, shifting to glide bomb terror from Su-34s. The battle proved that motivated defenders in prepared positions could inflict unsustainable casualties on a numerically superior attacker, even without air superiority. The city's ruins became a pilgrimage site. In 2024, Ukrainian artists installed a memorial of 20,000 steel roses, one for each Wagner casualty, melting captured tank barrels. Russian mothers, denied their sons' bodies, left flowers at the site, whispering names into the wind. Reconstruction plans envision a city of resilience, with underground schools and fortified hospitals, but demoning continues. A child lost a hand to a cluster bomblet in March 2025. Bakhmut broke Wagner, exposed Russian command dysfunction, and forged Ukrainian steel. It cost Prigozhin his empire and nearly his life. 2 months after the mutiny, he died in a mysterious plane crash over Tver. The siege's final irony, the city Russia sacrificed 20,000 men to capture, remains a Ukrainian artillery target, its liberation meaningless in strategic terms. Bakhmut stands as a monument to war's futility, where victory tasted of ash and the ground itself became the grave of an army that thought itself unstoppable.